Welcome to another beautiful edition of Arsenal Fans Beat, brought to you by Arsenal fans globally. Somehow, the Premier League is over. The season is over for all Arsenal fans globally. And somehow, it has been a bottle session for us again, despite starting in a rousing and beautiful manner. But one thing that you can't take away from this Arsenal thing is that we're undeterred, we're unfazed, we're unbridled. We don't allow anything to break us down. How would you have thought that Arsenal would go to Anfield and notch a 2-2 draw? But one of the key takeaways in that game is that I'm beginning to ask myself a question. What happened to Mikel Arteta? How come he hadn't been ruthless all season? How didn't he even play Martinelli as a striker? He played as a striker. You saw his sublime movement that led to that equalizing goal. What about Mikel Merino? Somebody who signed as a midfielder, and everybody in Arsenal were complaining the guy has not met what we are looking out for. But somehow, the guy notched in, scoring close to 8 goals in a season as a makeshift striker. Now the question is left to you Gunners globally is, what do we need to do in order to get this team rolling, to get trophies for us? Today, we agree with all the tags. Bottle FC, Netflix FC, Next Season FC. Call us whatever you want to call us. But the love we have for this badge is sublime, is unreal, is untainted. Nobody can take it away from us. Once you love Arsenal, you can't unlove Arsenal. Now the $1 million question is, what do we do to get this team rolling next season? And Roberto has started doing something fundamental by getting in players early. That was what I said in the last podcast review, where I said, look, if we need to get it right, we need to start notching the players in early so that they can go for preseason and understand the rudiments of what we do in Arsenal. So naysayers say, no, and Roberto, what he's doing today has to do with the job that Edu had done prior to leaving Arsenal. But I don't want to believe that, because the most important thing, the man that takes the glory is the man that is in the mix of events and got it right at the right time. Give it to Andre Beta. He has secured the services of Zubimendi. But the question I want to ask, do we really think that Zubimendi is the player that we need as a team? We have Thomas Partey playing for us. Do we really think that Zubimendi can do something extraordinary? Because I've watched him, and he reminds me of one Lucas Torreira that once played for us. I just don't want a situation where we're going to have another Lucas Torreira in this team. The $1 million question is, what are we doing about getting the right kind of players? We've heard from Grapevine that Arsenal are getting close and close to notch the signature of Victor Gkores. When is it going to be? Sometimes there are permutations that it could be Benjamin Šeško. We know Sima is completely out of it. But what do we really need? This is your time for you to go to the comment section and let us know what your views are. Because it's only when you start making your views count that we'll know where to go as a club. Something is wrong that we need to get right. Because we had all the credentials to become title contenders and winners. But somehow we fluffed our lines. And I hope that this season, forthcoming, that we're just going to do what we need to do. Because what has stopped us in the last 3 years is not getting the right kind of striker. Now let us start breaking it down. Victor Gkores is 26 years old. And in Arsenal, we're talking about age being a key thing that we need to do in order to get players right and let them walk towards the trajectory of getting to that zenith of winning trophies consistently. But Benjamin Šeško is about 22. So which do you prefer? A 26-year-old that is notching it and tearing it down for 3 seasons running in the Portuguese league, or a Benjamin Šeško that's still wavering, score today, he wouldn't score tomorrow, but has the potential to become a world beater? Are you ready to go for Isak for £150 million? Those are the questions that I want you to answer because we need to get things right and correctly going forward. I've asked myself questions, times without number, is what kind of players do we need for the season forthcoming? Do we need a striker, a midfielder, and a winger? For me, if you ask me, we need a clinical striker, somebody that can notch in 20 goals or more consistently without wavering. Then we need a replacement for Martin Ødegaard. One of the biggest challenges we had this season is that Martin Ødegaard didn't click like he did last season. He was going in 6 and 7. Performs today, tomorrow isn't performing well, and we lost him also to injury. So all that accounted to the way Arsenal were wavering in the final tour, because our biggest challenge this season is that in the final tour, the passes are not crispy enough. They're not sharp enough. We're not getting to the nerves of our opponent. So we need to get a replacement for him. Peradventure he gets injured. Or do we need to rely on young and upcoming Waneri? Those are the questions Arteta need to answer. Or do we need to look at Doxman, the young 15-year-old boy? We can't count on him. He's just a 15-year-old boy. He can be coming in 20 to 30 minutes towards the end of the game, or 10 minutes towards the end of every game. But we need to get experience in these areas. Then another one, I think we need to get a replacement for Martinelli. Martinelli needs to get a serious contender. And we also have to look at notching the signature of the man I call the sniper in the team, that is Trossard. We need to get Trossard settled. I think one of the biggest challenges he also had this season is not being too sure of whether he's going to remain in Arsenal this season. And above all, we must make sure that the midfield general will get a signature, because we've seen that if he's not injured, we can rely on Thomas Partey. Remember, you always say, if there is no Thomas, there is no Partey. And we also saw that in the first leg of the PSG Champions League semi-final match. We lost him, and our midfield lost the valve that we always look out for. And somehow, when he came in that second leg, he did not give us what we were expecting, because I think the clamor and the euphoria of we expecting him to do the unexpected, beyond what we wanted, got at him. But somehow, he still remained a player that we need to trust. Now, looking at the forthcoming season, what do you really want from Arsenal? We need to be ruthless, we need to be clinical going forward. And that's my take. I am waiting for you to hear your views, your comments, because when you start sharing your views and comments together, we can build this community together strongly. Until then, don't forget that it is another beautiful edition of Arsenal Fans Beat, brought to you by Arsenal Fans Globally. I want to say my shout-outs to the chairman of Arsenal Fans Sierra Leone, Philip Manosise, and also our global ambassador, Sarah Tucker. Thank you for taking this back to the next level. Until then, it is come on, you Gunners.